Get ready to start now. So everybody on mute except for Ian.
Word. All right, ladies and gentlemen, SPN family, we are back tonight with another Supernatural recap. Episode 2 was on tonight. My name is ICZorro, by the way. Let's do a quick round of introductions here, just to make sure we know who we're talking to. We've got Giatomcat. Say hi, Gia.
Hello.
And she and I have both come to the show recently, and I think we were both rather shepherded through by our supernatural expert. On the other side over there, we've got Superwhovianfreak.
That's right. Respect the knowledge.
That's right. The lady that can deep dive on this stuff. So, do we want? Is there anything that popped out for you guys tonight? Anything you wanted to talk about just right off the bat?
Well, when it comes to the characters, Jack is very much picking up on the fact that he is not liked by Dean, obviously. And Sam is the bridge right now between them. So that's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. For sure. Gia, anything that you particularly saw tonight?
Yes, the ruining of 2 spicy burritos.
Well,
right on the floor. I was kicked. Oh.
I get the feeling that if they hadn't dropped those ones, a lot more than spicy burritos could have been ruined. And churritos, tacos, enchiladas. As we all know, a lot of people around here like tacos, so that would have been a tragedy. All right, so kicking off the recap, we see that there is a new prince in hell, or rather, an old prince in hell.
Ruler, old prince.
Yeah, exactly. We've got the little lackeys there keeping the seat nice and dusted for Lucifer for when he gets back, because he promised. And then we've got the more of the Crowley crowd just kind of standing off in the shadows, getting drunk. What did you think of that entrance from, as they keep saying, Asmodeus?
I actually at first thought it was Jeff Bridges dressed as Colonel Sanders, and I was like, what? I was like, who is that? And then
like, oh man, they are taking these Colonel Sanders ads way too far.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, I had a feeling it was going to be that guy, because I mean, who else would it be? You're just pulling in a random guy. No, you're not going to just pull in a random demon and just be like, all right, I'm the top dog now,
Yeah.
So
and we seem to have lost Gia for a second there.
She will be back.
What did you think of that actor in that role? I mean, granted, we haven't seen him for too much long, but it seemed a little overacty even for this show.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe it's just him settling into his role a little bit. I mean, he needed a big entrance. You had Mark Sheppard, which is a big shoes to fill. But Mark Sheppard was very understated. So you can't try and play that same thing. You have to try and go for the opposite. In this case, it's big, it's bold, it's, dramatic.
Mark Sheppard was understated up to a point, in which case he would start yelling at you. And always in that crazy, Mark Sheppard British accent. Gia, what did you think of the new bad guy, Asmodeus?
I was trying to say, I think he looks like that golf guy, Faraday, that does the chat show that interviews. He's
David Faraday?
Yeah. He looked a lot like him, and then he spoke, and I thought, oh, this guy's from New Orleans.
Totally.
Nolans.
Yeah, I think this will be an interesting cat to follow. One of the original 4 princes under Lucifer, so that should be fun.
And probably the most devoted since Azazel was around. I mean, Dagon a little bit, but this guy.
He tells that story about how he immediately rebelled against Lucifer,
I know.
and how, and then as we get into the recap, we'll see how he's kind of trying to do the same thing again.
A little bit.
Some people never learn. As it turns out, rebellious angels not the best at rule following. So we get to the car and we see Sam and Dean. They're driving along. Kids passed out in the back. or at least that's what Sam refers to him as. And Dean is very clear. No, that's not a kid. It's an it. And you kind of see Sam reading Dean and trying to say, look, I get it. You know, you're sad. Mom's gone. Cass is gone. And notice Sam led with Mom, whereas Dean probably would have led with Cass. And Dean responds with, you know what? Mom's gone. There's no fixing that. And then, of course, we immediately smash cut to their mom.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just in case you needed reminding, oh, yeah, here she is. She's not dead. You know.
I think the last we saw of her at the end of last episode, was it the end of last episode or the beginning of this one where she got hit with the fireball and disappeared?
This episode. This episode.
Yeah.
So I don't know how she disappeared. I guess she used the smoke as cover. I'm assuming. Used the smoke as cover. She didn't get very far, clearly.
No. Well, it's hard to run from Lucifer in a blasted out shell of Earth.
You
Right, without running into a perv.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, you know.
I get the feeling that, you know, a lot of the people that you're going to run into in that type of place, not going to be the best dudes.
Yeah.
And it looks like we just had Jason join us in the chat channel, so he's here to chat with us.
Right on.
Oh, hey.
But that apocalyptic world is just.
You know, when that guy first popped out from behind the rock, I thought it was going to be Benny.
I thought it was Benny too. Thank God I wasn't the only one.
Because you just see the silhouette behind the gun. You're like, Benny. Oh, it's not Benny.
Not Benny. And I'm like, this would have been the first time I'd actually been surprised by somebody showing up on Supernatural since.
Ever.
There you go. Since.
Although I guess
in a long time.
I guess we got to
figure.
Since
Snooki. You know what? I'll throw that one out there. Since
God.
Snooki, because she took me completely by surprise.
Totally forgot about that.
Chuck too, fan fiction in season 10 when he popped up at the very end, Rob Benedict. I'm like, hey, the hell's he doing there?
That was one of the things that got spoiled for me watching through this show in the course of the last few months, is that I listened to a different podcast. I know, I'm sorry, but I listened to a different podcast that has Rob Benedict as a guest frequently, and they're always like, yeah, you know him from Supernatural where he plays God, and I was like, what? Aww.
Oh, like,
oh.
Spoilers.
So yeah, I thought that was Benny at first, but no, just a creepy guy who, once he figured out she was human, immediately tried to rape her. So
yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, well, it was a hell of a save.
But
literally.
But here comes the tagline of the night: #Lucifer to the rescue. I mean, like what?
I know. But it was shocking to see a hand come out his chest, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Did anyone have alien flashbacks?
Yep. Chest burster. Absolutely. Yeah. And then he just pulls it out and he's just shaking the blood off his fingers. And I weirdly, small detail that I noticed there, at least they definitely kept the continuity going with his leather jacket being riddled with bullet holes.
Yes.
That was kind of funny. So yes, you said #Lucifer the rescue. I'm saying #hell of a save.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know, right? The puns are strong tonight. So we go back to Asmodeus, and I'm going to say it the way that they're saying it because I've always thought it was Asmodeus, and I'm pretty sure.
I would have bet $1 million that it was Asmodeus.
I could have sworn and talked to you about this a little bit earlier, Super. That I thought that's how they said it in previous seasons, but that guy very clearly said Asmodeus, and so did Sam later on. So we get back to him sitting in the throne room talking about how he got his scars and threatening the new minions. And what is the word that he was saying? What is this creature that he tried to free before? I thought it was the Shatine, like it's some sort of Celtic word.
I even tried watching it with the captions on, and I could not catch what he said. So I'm going to have to go back. I'll look at the transcript later.
Yeah, and then later in the show, it sounded more like Shadim. I don't know.
It was a little hard to hear with his accent. I'm not going to lie.
That's true. So he may be the catalyst bad guy. to getting the big bad guy this season? Because it seems like that's something he's not going to stop trying.
No, if it's not going to be Jack that opens it, because now Jack knows what he's doing, so it's not like he can just pull a switcheroo again, just be like, all right, we're going to go back, we're going to try this again, because now he knows what's up. He can't be fooled like that.
I think at that point, the quickest way to get him to do that is to get him into just real deep despair. We saw towards the end of the episode, he's trying to figure out what his place in the world is. If he gets sad enough about it, he might just flip over to his dad's side. Mm-hmm. Beth, I'm sorry, Gia, what do you think about that?
I don't necessarily. I know trauma can probably trip you over to the bad side, which is what I'm kind of hoping Dean is going through, this trauma that makes him, what is it, chaotic neutral? No?
He could be. He could be chaotic neutral for the beginning part of the season.
Yeah, because he's just bent on destroying him.
Or maybe lawful neutral. Maybe lawful neutral.
I don't know that he's ever been all that lawful.
No, it's like the borderline of.
I would say right now he's chaotic neutral, while generally he is chaotic good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Sam is just good. Not, well.
He's neutral good.
He's neutral good. Yeah. Yeah, I just Dean sort of pulls me out of the story when he's all grr like that. He pulls me right out of the story, and I'm thinking, how can he keep up the grr for the whole season?
Oh, I do not think it will be the whole season. Just based on talks that I've seen with Jensen and with Misha on the con circuit. If you guys don't watch the con circuit, I'm going to plug that for you right now. Watch it, because you find out tons and tons of little gems.
I have seen the few videos that you've sent me, and those guys look like they are a joy to watch, even when they're not acting.
Oh my god, they are.
Just ridiculous. The chemistry is amazing, and the humor.
The humor, the stories that they have, I could just, I'll plug some at the end that you guys should all watch.
Speaking of Dean being all grr, I like that there were a handful of like straight up human Dean moments in there. He walks into the hotel room, kids watching TV, and his immediate reaction is no. And then he pauses and watches Scooby-Doo with him for about 15 minutes, and he like smirks a little bit, and it was like, oh man, I almost can't help myself. And the whole thing with the fast food where the kid is eating like Dean. Hey, the food's not going anywhere. And I loved Sam's response. He goes, Dean, have you ever watched you eat?
I mean, like, I had the flashback to when he's on the college campus shoving noodles in his face, got the little noodle hanging out, or the Philly cheesesteak with the little meat hanging out.
I was just thinking of the chicken sandwiches that we're making everybody dumb. Just it's like a wood chipper.
He is.
Oh no, it's like those old Carl's Jr. commercials where you see the model, just mowing. And then she pulls the paper container over just to catch the drips. And I'm like, this reminds me.
And then so after they finish wood chippering their burgers, he makes the kid go sleep on the couch, and he says, hey, read this book. And it's the Bible, of course. Getting him a little family history there. It is strange to think, and I think the kid even called it out at one point. God is basically his grandfather, so that's got to be a difficult thing to come up with. They try to figure out if he can teleport, which is a fun.
That was a good moment.
Yeah,
that was a good moment.
It was some good comedy. Big Papa Matt's just joined us in the chat room, and he's questioning our supernatural D&D alignments here. I stand by what we determined, although Sam can cross over. If anyone crosses over to lawful good in this show, it is definitely Sam.
And I like Jack Malice's comment there. Dean is lawful neutral. He just happens to follow his own personal code rather than general laws.
I could see that. Because he does have his own code, and he mostly sticks to it. There are instances where he has broken it, but
Right on. So yeah, the teleport lesson. If you wanted to be on the other side of that door right now, what would you do? And the look. So the kid gets up, walks over, opens the door, stands outside. The look on his face when Sam opened it back up, just like, I did it.
I'm like, look at me.
Proud.
Aren't you proud of me? Like,
That was great.
but what? Yeah. What was it I said to you, Gia, earlier? I was like, he was trying to kiss up to stepdad until Papa Castiel gets back.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it feels like right now,
Yeah.
because he's doing the exact same stuff Cass used to do, where he used to mimic Dean and one-on-one, and Dean just has no patience for it. He's just like, all right, knock it off.
Well, that's an interesting comparison, because he was not a huge fan of Cass to start.
No, he was not. Absolutely not.
So we get Donatello, who I barely even remembered from before. Did anybody? Gia, I don't think you watched Angel's Super. Did you notice that is the guy that raised Angel's son in the demon alternate universe?
Oh, is that Holt?
Yeah, it is.
Knew he looked familiar. I hated that guy.
I hated that guy so much.
Hated that guy with a freaking passion.
And what I was really hoping is that he's not going to have too much influence on the way that Jack is raised, because he did a terrible job with Angel's kid.
He did, absolutely. Well, he's not the one you want raising him right now anyways, because he doesn't have a soul.
No,
But
he said he got one back.
did he get one back?
Yeah, he said courtesy of, I can't remember who, but he said that,
Amara.
yeah, Amara.
Oh, he did get one. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was that line then, because so Amara did give him his soul back.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying courtesy of Amara, I didn't have my soul anymore, so that's why he made that Mr. Rogers line. I think, what would Mr. Rogers do? And I'm okay, once I make that decision.
And the moral crossroads comment.
Yeah, the Mr. Rogers. And I think he was saying that he was still getting accustomed to the new soul. So
Okay.
it didn't quite fit yet.
Okay, so I misunderstood that line then.
Yeah, all right. So let's see here. We go and we decide that the boy's got to get some tattoos, got to be warded. Clearly, if Donatello and his God radar can find him that easily, so can all the big bad things.
Right.
What was that extra tattoo they were putting down the center of his chest? Was that just general purpose angel warding?
Yeah, I think it was just supposed to be angel warding. Although I'm not quite sure why he healed himself from that. I think they're going a little overboard with the.
I don't think he had a choice.
No, he didn't. It was reflex. So I'm not quite sure what caused that. Why that reflex happened. Did he think it was a danger to him?
I don't know. Well, you got to think. He specifically told us he's been alive for 3 days, 12 hours, and 47 minutes at that point. So he's not super in control of his instincts at this point.
No, but he can drink.
Yeah, well, he made himself over 21. You got to figure his liver's probably working on a little bit of a higher function than ours. Speaking of instant healing, that would be fun.
Yes. Well, with as many times as Cass has healed Dean, you would think that his liver is, fully functional.
Well, we gotta bet that Dean's not going to be dying of cancer anytime soon either. So we got the boys talking about him like he's not there, and talking about how he is, possibly good, possibly bad, and Dean cuts everybody off and just kind of yells, he's not God, he's not Simba, he's the devil, and poof, he's gone.
Simba, of all the people to pick, like, he's not God and he's not Simba. Like, I guess the chosen child, like Simba was the chosen child, I guess, but there's so many other. But that's Dean. I guess he pulls the weirdest reference.
That was a great reference. And yeah, we see Jack just sitting dejected on a milk crate, and Gia, did you feel bad for him at that point?
I did.
I didn't. I thought he was a little whiner.
He's 3 days old. Now, I mean, he's 3 days old. His mom's dead. His adopted papa is gone, and he's got all these powers, and
he needs to I think he needs to go to our website and click on our Amazon link and get How to Cope with My Adopted Foster Family.
Yeah, how to parent yourself.
I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in self-help there that would work for him. I don't know if you noticed when Sam found him and he was sitting on that milk crate, he was giving him the talk about why Dean's angry and Dean, how he confuses fear and frustration with anger. The sign on the hotel behind them was the Black Hat Hotel, which I thought was, as soon as I saw Black something hotel, I thought, okay, this is probably going to be a bad place. And then they immediately cut over to the Black Spur Bar where Dean is drinking.
Right.
And
All right, subliminal.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're in a town called Black. I don't know.
It could be.
Super.
They're very much about the subliminal on this show, so
For sure.
Very
Super. Was it as immediately obvious to you as it was to me that waitress was just digging for information out of Dean?
yes, I thought it was the demon actually that had seen him in the alley. That's who I thought it was.
I
I was not expecting it to be that guy, but I thought it was the demon, and then she was fishing for the information. And I mean, she just asked way too many pointed questions. Oh, you mean the old guy and this guy? Like, why did she care? She shouldn't have cared. She just should have gotten him his drink,
Well, she also immediately tried to empathize with him with the crappy dad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Chatty.
Well, because that's not normally the type of girl that Dean picks up in a bar. I mean, not to say that he has super high standards, but I was kind of surprised that he just got up and left.
Yeah, it could have just been the fight or flight. How much do I really want to drink, or do I want to sit here and talk about what I don't want to talk about, even if it is with a stranger? Or maybe something she said triggered him into getting back to the hotel. I don't know.
Or maybe he felt that she was being too chatty and it was an awkward and odd situation and I'm uncomfortable. I think I'll leave.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Speaking of people feeling immediately uncomfortable, when Donatello walked into the room there and started talking to Sam, again, Gia, did you immediately have that reaction? Like, this is not the actual guy. Something's up here. Yeah,
it was a little off. It was like, this milk is bad.
Yeah, you saw it. We all saw it, but
yeah,
Sam,
lettuce is brown. There's something wrong here.
Yeah, something about his questioning technique. He'll give you the first few words of a sentence and then let you fill out the next paragraph.
Yeah. And I think Sam's state of mind, when you just go back and you think about all the times that they've had this stuff pulled on him, I mean, I guess it never gets easier to spot. You're assuming you've seen one thing. You're not assuming you've been found out this quickly. So Sam, yeah, definitely should have been a little bit more aware of who he was talking to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and that white suit. That white suit. It's just
I think it's got to be terrible to keep clean.
I don't know. But if you did, I don't know, Halloween's coming up. If you wanted to get a white suit for a Halloween costume, you could go as Asmodeus, or you could even actually go as Lucifer, because if you think back, he wore the white suit back in season 5 with the little red rose. So, go on Amazon, go to our website, MaliceCorp.com, and you can go to our Amazon links through there and just check out and go shopping. And, you could be your own New Orleans Colonel Sanders for this year's Halloween. Have at it. Take pictures if you do and send them to me on Twitter.
Some stage makeup, some scar makeup there too.
Also on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Scar makeup also on Amazon.
So then we cut back to Mary and the devil. And man, I got to say, Mark Pellegrino is killing it this season. Like,
he is a phenomenal actor. He is definitely a phenomenal actor.
He at times gets a little too jokey, snarky about it, but just barely. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that is a fantastic line that he's treading there.
Yeah, that's a very thin line. I think sometimes the director has to say, rein it in just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It can, but I think playing off of her deadpan humor. I mean, no humor actually right now from Samantha Smith playing Mary.
Yeah.
But so he's, I don't want to say overcompensating, but he's going that
He's
little
definitely
extra
the
mile.
energy source.
Exactly, to try and make sure that there is energy. Because if he's all down and dour and she's all down and dour, nobody's going to want to watch that.
Yeah. And actually, there is one thing in the previous scene that I forgot to talk about. Got to go back to some of the questioning that Asmodeus does of Sam. Sam reads from the lore and says essentially Nephilim is going to be more powerful than either of its original parts. And seeing as how his dad was Lucifer, that puts him at the next thing to God.
I would say just under God and Amara as well.
Like 1A, like 1A, 1B at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably going to be something that's important to know going forward. He was strong enough to start to open up the cavern for whatever those things are called. The creepy hands that we saw. Yeah, lizard arms or whatever.
The Shazbot.
So we've got Mary and Lucifer standing there, and they get confronted by commando angels. Apparently, it's just a squad of them wandering around in camo.
That was actually, it was kind of sad. They didn't even get to do anything. It was just like, everybody. I put my arm up, and then it's just like, dude, you know.
I was like, really? Are you gonna smite me right now?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, Pellegrino's killing it. So we cut back to Sam and Dean, and they're getting over, or they're trying to work through the issues that they have regarding this kid, because clearly they're not on the same page. And I think that's exactly what Dean says. But Sam starts to give one of his patented rousing, I get that you're down, but we're going to make through it. When did we stop when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
I don't think that was the exact phrasing you used, but no, we've been down and we've been kicked, and we always come back. And
yeah.
Right, we'll fight them in the trenches. We'll fight them on the fields. We'll.
Winston Churchill. All right, but yeah, he just gave a one of those "that's what we do" speeches, and of course that's almost immediately disrupted by Donatello manifesting his God compass again.
Oh yeah, was that when he walked in with the burritos?
That was, I believe so. That's when
he walks in, he's like, I got breakfast, and then they're like, you were just here, and it's like, oh, light bulb, ding.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but that guy having a God GPS or God compass or whatever you want to call it, that's gonna be pretty handy if they ever need to find that kid, because he was like, that way, 3 miles over there and take a right. Yeah.
And have you noticed that every prophet in Supernatural has had a different skill set?
Absolutely.
Chuck, obviously, now I'm not quite sure how the character of Chuck works. I don't know if he was God the whole time, or if he was God just at the very end, and God took over the body of the prophet at the very end in Swan Song, or if he actually was God the whole time.
I remember him as God, talking about how he had tried the whole mortal existence thing and how writing didn't really pan out for him. So he must have been God the whole time. It was just that he had, in order to hide from everybody, had changed everybody, angels and everybody else, into thinking he was just the prophet.
The prophet. Okay, so that joke about him being a cruel, capricious God then back in season 5 was actually pretty on point.
Yep.
But so you had Chuck with the visions of Sam and Dean writing their whole life story into schmuck fiction, basically, and
so the sequel,
and then you had Kevin. Yeah, then you had Kevin, who's still personally my favorite out of all of them. I love Chuck, don't get me wrong, but just as far as being a prophet is concerned, there was something very special about Ozric Chow in that role of Kevin.
Yeah, I kind of miss that kid.
I miss that kid, although he is rumored to be coming back this season, maybe in the alternate universe. We're not sure. So any form of Kevin that you get, I'll be happy, because I love Ozric.
Right on.
But he was, I guess his special skill set was to read the tablets.
Translation, yeah.
Yeah, translation and being super smart.
Yeah. So we get the God compass going. Again, we see Colonel Sanders dressed up as Donatello, and he's just a real unsubtle trying to usurp Jack's power there. Gia, what do you think made Jack immediately just do whatever this guy was telling him to do?
That's a disconnect I didn't understand. Why would Jack go off with this guy? He just met him. Well, then again, he just went off with Jan and Dean.
Sam and Dean. I love it.
He just Joni and Chachi. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't he go off with them?
Yeah. Why did he go off with the guys from the okay, technically she was a cop, so he didn't really have a choice.
Technically, she probably said, "We're going to find your father." But I just thought there was a disconnect. But then again, it's all been a disconnect to me.
The nice or the thing that made it make sense for me is that he is that young. He's been introduced to this guy in a trusting fashion with Sam and Dean, who he now trusts.
Yes.
And he's essentially just too naive not to think, or too naive to think, hey, maybe this guy has bad intentions.
Yep.
Although
he has no way of knowing how to read people right now. He knows what he's been told, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that will come. So now he knows, okay, this guy, bad. Somebody tells me to do this, bad.
Yeah. Hopefully, because raising things out of even darker hell that even Lucifer's afraid of, let's try to avoid that. Mm-hmm. Just as a general rule. So we, he's trying to raise up the Shadim or the Shatheen or whatever they're called. Hopefully somebody says that more clearly in the next episode. And that all comes to an end when he looks over and sees that the real Donatello is there with Sam and Dean, and guy starts trying to choke him, and he displays the fact that even though he's 4 days old now, he has learned loyalty already. Do you think that do you think that Dean was right and it was just an instinct, like sneezing, like, oh, a problem, fix it? Or do you think that he consciously thought, those are my friends, I don't want bad things to happen to them, therefore you're a bad guy?
I think it was that. I think what he did was the sneeze. The power that he displayed was it went on instinct and adrenaline. If he tried to actually just do it, I don't think he could just summon it yet on command. He'll probably learn. But no, he knows. I mean, obviously, I don't know what Kelly, the mother, told him, but obviously he knows that they were with Castiel, and he knows he was supposed to be with Castiel. So hopefully, we're fingers crossed that he stays with them,
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it seemed genuine when he turned around and said, "You're hurting my friends." Mm-hmm. It was genuine.
Do you think that he actually banished Asmodeus, or did Asmodeus see that he was about to get wrecked and left?
Yeah, that looked like the Prince of Hell version of smoking out.
Yeah, he was about to get his booty kicked, and he was like, "I'm out."
Okay. Would have been interesting to see what kind of power blast he put on that guy if he hadn't left. We cut back to Mary and Lucifer, and we see that Michael has made an appearance.
Yeah. Michael in the vessel. We don't know who that is.
Yeah. Not the Michael that. Did we ever see Michael before? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Sam and Dean's half brother.
Right.
Adam, yeah. the one everyone forgets about, because honestly, he was what the point was his character, what the F was his character for.
Yeah,
sort of like Chuck on Happy Days.
Yeah, he was just there basically to give Dean an out.
Cousin
and
Oliver.
It didn't. Yeah,
Cousin Oliver.
I respect that actor, don't get me wrong, Jake Abel, but I mean, Adam is a character that didn't really need to be brought back ever.
Yeah. I just love the fact that they're all about family, and yet anytime family goes missing, sometimes they just, whatever. He's stuck in the cage. Tough. Mom's in another dimension.
Yeah. Although, well, Sam, you can tell Sam for once, Sam is the one. That's actually a role reversal. Usually it is Dean going, okay. And I remember, if harkening back to season 6, Dean had initially wanted to get Adam out of the cage, but Death gave him a choice. All right, I'll pull your brother's soul, or I'll pull your brother. What do you want? And of course he went for Sam, the brother that he actually had a bond with. And,
absolutely.
I personally, and this is just me, my personal belief is that Adam is in heaven. I believe that Michael took the vessel and he sent Adam's soul to heaven, because it's where he should have been anyways, since Zachariah ripped him out of heaven and put him back on earth. So in my opinion, he was never in the cage. He's just, that's just me.
Right on. So yeah, we find out that in the alternate universe, Michael actually killed Lucifer. In the skies over, what did he say? Like Wichita or something like that?
Aberdeen. No.
Aberdeen? I don't know. So yeah, they start getting into a fight there, and Lucifer, of course, starts with a sucker punch, as he should. and Michael pretty quick.
Oh, he froze. Okay, so Michael pretty quick owned him so good. And that was so satisfying to see and to watch. And I don't know about you, but that guy that's playing Michael, that guy's pretty smoking.
Oh yeah. Oh, he
definitely smoking.
Fog, and I was like, hello.
Yeah, like, hello, like, who are you? I'm like, you're pretty. I like you.
I like you.
I was like, I don't even care who you are at this point. You're pretty and I like you.
Right. Pretty. It's like fire bad, tree pretty. Is he coming back?
His computer has locked up, which has been a trend. So apologies for that. But I know we are getting close to the end. So if he comes back, we'll see if he comes back or not. But it did end with Jack is, I don't want to say he's on a suicidal streak, but he's definitely questioning whether or not he is what is his purpose here? I know poor guy. He's not even here 5 days and he's already having an existential crisis.
Right. He doesn't know. Well, kind of, because he kind of got a flavor of good and really, really bad.
Yeah, he's seen now both sides, I guess you could say. He's seen the side that doesn't want to really use him. I mean, I shouldn't say that they don't, because they kind of do. They want him to open up to the other reality, or at least Sam does want him to open up to the other reality. But other than that, they want to help him, and they want to show him and teach him the way to be good, not to use his power to corrupt and destroy. And
I think that Jack instinctively knows how to be good, because he said, you're hurting my friends, and had an angry reaction to that. But it's sort of warring with that other side, that dark side.
I mean, we know he's having visions. He's remembering back to when Lucifer had been calling out to him from hell. So we do know that he's aware. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out now that he knows that he's being pursued. But that was really sad to see, that end when he was stabbing himself repeatedly with the knife. And, I mean, obviously it's not going to do anything. And Dean pointed that out, just like, dude, what are you? But it was interesting too, because for all this talk about Dean not caring about what happened to him, he sees him doing that. And he's instantly like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, stop it, knock it off. So he's still got a little bit.
But then
Mhm.
he says, I'm gonna kill you.
If it comes to that. Yeah, I like the way he worded that. That was very subtly worded. So I'm gonna give. I know I'm not a big fan of Buck Lemmings. Y'all have heard my rants. This was a Buck Lemmings episode tonight.
Yes.
Truth be told, I actually forgot it was a Buck Lemmings episode tonight because they didn't do anything that they usually do that pisses me the hell off. A lot of people were in character. Most people were treated with respect. There was no scenes that just made me go, what just did I just watch? And the dialogue was actually pretty on point.
Mm-hmm.
So
before you say
I
that, I want to have a shout out to Robert in the chat channel. I don't think we said hi.
Yeah. Oh no, we didn't. Hi, there he is. Hi, Robert. What is he saying? Religion was created by smart ancient men to control the minds of the masses. Just saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. There you go. Oh, here we go. Apparently him and the Big Papa Matt, who's also in the chat channel, if we didn't say that, they are talking about the religion of Nick Cage, and Nick Cage was created to control the masses. So there is that. So if we have any followers of the Cage of Nick, the Big Papa Matt will be your leader, and you all can worship together there. But yeah, so going forward, it's going to be interesting to see how Jack plays with this, and Dean as well with this, because I think on one hand, he does want to, because he sees him as this person that brought about this hell that is his life. But on the other hand, he is like a little baby duck. And how do you kill a little baby duck that's imprinting on you, whether you want it to or not? he is totally imprinted on Dean. I mean, he likes Sam too, because Sam's the one that's talking to him and stuff. But you don't see him trying to mimic Sam. You don't see him trying to, no, he's trying to impress Dean. And you got to wonder why. Like, you just got to wonder why. This guy is radiating nothing but hostility and dislike.
Yeah, it's true.
And yet you are doing your best to just try and impress him. So
yeah.
What is this? Little baby duck.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Papa
Oh.
says, what? Oh, Nick Cage for Pope.
Welcome back.
Which version
I
Nick
see.
Cage? The moonlighting or the Con Air Nick Cage, or the?
I don't think we can go. We can't hear IZ, so we have our angry mind back.
Oh no!
Oh wait, there he is.
Do we have two incarnations?
There we go.
Duel.
So what did you think, IZ, to pass the reins back to you? But we discussed the last scene with.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of that on my tablet.
Yeah. So what did you think about that?
I thought that it was the start of Dean coming around on Jack. As you said, his first instinct wasn't, okay, he's trying to kill himself. Cool. Maybe I don't have to. His first instinct was, stop, dude, stop. So yeah, and I agreed with you. I like the way that he phrased that at the end. Like, it wasn't, I'm going to kill you. It was, if it comes to that, if I get proven correct, I'll be the one that does it. And I thought that was, I don't know, it felt like the start of a nice relationship. Like, as we mentioned earlier, he wasn't the biggest fan of Cass at first.
You didn't feel like it was a macho statement? Not a,
No.
like a, not, I don't want to say macho. I want to say it was a strong statement.
It was definitely a strong statement, but to me, that it felt like that was Dean's way of saying, look, I've got this connection with you a little bit. So that's, I have enough respect for you. There's the fact that you are confused and lost, and that you recognize that, and that you're trying to do something about that. Dean respects that, in my opinion. So that was pretty much it for the show there. Is there anything else that we missed that you guys wanted to talk about? Anything we forgot?
Not that we forgot. No, just to expound on that last point. It weirdly enough, and this is going to sound really weird, it was actually a sign of respect from Dean when he said, I'll be the one to kill you, because that's what he does. I mean, he was willing to do it with Sam when Sam was soulless. He was willing to do it with Cass when Cass was, taken over by the Leviathans and the god. You know,
Agreed.
he was, you know, so it's weirdly enough, it's a sign of respect to say, I'm going to be the one to take you out.
Yeah, that's almost like, yeah, that is basically Dean saying, I got you, man.
Mhm.
Hi, Hikari. I see you in the chat. Just saying hi.
I know. I'll make a promise next week when I tweet out these things. I'll tag Hikari so that way that they don't miss the beginning of these.
Absolutely. Speaking of tags and articles and stuff, go to our main website, Malice-Cast or Malice-Corp.com. It's the reason that we have this platform to do these podcasts in the first place. So if you like these, if you enjoy what we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Go visit the homepage. We've got our nerd fights. We've got articles. We've got multiple other podcasts that are all very worth listening to / watching. We do occasionally also rip these to iTunes and Stitcher. So check on those. Subscribe. That way I get my wish and they get ripped more often. But closing out for the night, we have got myself. I'm at ICZorro on Twitter and Instagram. Gia, where can we find you online?
On Twitter, you can find me as Red Meepaw. That's RED space MIPAW.
All right. And Super.
Come find me at Superwhovianfreak on Twitter. It's going to be an interesting weekend on Twitter. I've got a special project coming up.
I saw that.
For anyone that follows me on Twitter right now, I responded to something that David Hayden Jones, who was on the show last season, and I got selected to be some kind of editor for a special project that he has coming up. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be editing as of yet, but I know it involves Jazzercise, him in very colorful shorts and very 80s headbands. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be an interesting and wild ride. So just keep following my Twitter because we're going to be throwing updates for when that's going to be coming out.
Absolutely. If there's anybody that's more involved in the SPN family stuff on Twitter that's not actually on the show, I don't know them. So the rest of the folks here, you can follow our main podcast at MaliceCast. We can follow our producer Jack Malice at Jack_Malice, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna be doing these every week for the rest of the season. So thanks for watching. Pleasure to have you in the channel. For those of you that stop by the live chat channel, always a fun time. Like I said, remember to like and subscribe, and we are pretty much out of here.